and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Cigar Host. With me, as always, is my main man, Matty Uch. How we doing, Mar?
Paisan, good to be back. Good to be back.
That's it. Mario and I are enjoying one of my Maduro cigars. Feel free to go to thecigarhost.com, pick them up. And obviously, you can see we have somebody very special sitting right here in the middle.
It's over your shoulder, actually.
Oh, yeah,
He's
well,
back there.
Back there, yeah, back there. This gentleman right here, I'm sure you guys already know. He's a familiar face. You have seen him on night talk shows. You've seen him on stand-up, selling out arenas and selling out comedy shows. This is the funniest man in New Jersey, Mike Marino.
That is the greatest introduction I've ever gotten in a basement in my entire life.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
And thanks for having me over.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is fantastic, man. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that we're in a basement.
Yeah.
I mean, my show's called Live from My Mother's Basement. And one of the greatest things for me is to be invited over to other places. And I look at somebody else's basement. I'm like, you see, I know what I'm talking about.
That's it.
The basement is the place to be.
That's where all the success happens.
Yeah.
What's the guy? He did it in his garage. You know, I mean, we don't need garages. We use basements in
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Well, that's such an Italian thing in the basement, right? I know every single one of my grandmothers or great-grandmothers,
Oh,
they had two kitchens. One was upstairs. That never got used. It was always the kitchen in the basement. Even my
Always.
dad, where I grew up, that was,
because
that's the thing.
the kitchen was upstairs. We'd be picking all day. Like when you go, obviously, you get a nice, the Italian dinner, the Sunday gravy. Like I'm picking. There's fresh mutts on the table. There's prosciutto. Like I'm full before I even get to the meal. But you have to eat.
Oh, yeah.
My mother used to say all the time, don't fill up on bread. Don't fill up on the bread. How could you not?
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
you
put
have
it on
to.
the table.
It's delicious.
Right. Save it for the end of the night. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
the
no.
bread is with a little olive oil and that fresh mutts on top. Oh,
I'm starving already.
yeah. Well, I heard.
I don't know what it was. I guess growing up in the basement, being from New Jersey, could it be that our parents, because my mother's from Italy, could it be it was just the way that they were brought up that I didn't know there was any other way of life?
Right.
Right.
I thought this is just the way it is. Get out of the kitchen. Go downstairs. What are you doing in the parlor? Get your ass in the basement. You never went in any of those places. You would get your ass kicked.
Right. Right.
And it was like, Ma, you got a brand new stove upstairs. Go downstairs. That's where we're eating. Your grandmother's at the stove. Your grandmother's stove was good enough for her. So it's good enough for you.
Right.
And I like the fact that you said gravy.
Oh.
We could stop that argument. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know about you,
Uh,
but my mother always said gravy, and she's from
Gravy.
Italy, so it's not a Jersey thing.
It's.
yeah.
I think right. I think it's born in the natural state of Italy. We came to New Jersey. We took over. What do you want us to do?
If you would ask my mother right now, Ma, why you say gravy, she'd say because in the gravy is meat. I got the braciole in there.
Ooh.
We got the meatballs in there. We got the pork in there. Sometimes, if you were good, she put the pepperoni in there.
Mm,
And that's what made it gravy, because it was meat.
right.
If you want a marinara, which my mother said marina,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that was her dialect, then you can call it sauce. But if you ever snap open a jar with the word ragu on it, I'm going to kick you right the fuck out of the basement.
Oh, my
It's like
God.
it's on par of going to like the Olive Garden. If I ever a girl was ever like, hey, do you want to go to Olive Garden on the first date? I'd say my mom would know immediately. They got like a third sense, you know what I mean? Sorry, a sixth sense because you have five already.
You don't go for the unlimited breadsticks?
Oh, dude, I
Right.
have never touched that. Let me ask you a question though. So we talked about Sunday.
Ask me many questions. That's why we're here. We're in the basement. First of all, this is really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know what? Let's do a cheers, because
Yeah,
I
let's do
didn't
it.
sip this yet.
We like to put you in the most inconvenient.
Thanks for
spot.
having me over, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for
Thanks
having me over.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Let's do this. Ooh, there was a bite to that.
Yeah, that's a little bit
Hold
of
on a minute. Ooh,
You get that second. The second kick gets you.
you saw that?
Yeah, I
It
saw-
hit me twice. You saw that happen to me.
Gives you a front
I
hand
went
and a
like,
backhand.
ooh. How'd that even happen?
That's the old Michters right there.
You get the
Bourbon
old
Michters.
front hand,
I
backhand.
gotta go again.
Yeah.
Do it, yeah.
You know what's nice? If you actually draw on a cigar after, you wet the palate with this, you can identify a couple flavor notes. Now I'm getting a little crazy, right? But that's what I love doing. I love pairing my cigars too. So you have my Connecticut right there. So this is actually a perfect pairing for a Connecticut because it's got a smooth flavor up front, but then obviously a little bite on the end.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you pair it, you take a little sip, and then take a little draw in afterwards.
It's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you've been in, doing your thing in New Jersey for over 20 years, right? So how did you get started? Where was your first steps? I know you're from New Jersey. I love it. There's nothing else like New Jersey. There really isn't.
No.
I don't care what anyone says. We get everything.
I
You want
love
all
it.
the seasons. You want all the beaches and the casinos, whatever
The
you
food.
want. The
Yeah.
food, right?
The attitude.
Where did you start? How'd you get into it?
I was born in Jersey City
Right.
with billions of other Italians from Italy. The block alone was just the greatest place to be because you knew everybody. You knew who was going to kick your ass,
Right.
and you knew who was going to protect you. You knew to stay away from this girl because she's with that guy, and you could meet these girls. And then after a certain amount of time, me and my family, my two brothers, we moved to the suburbs like everybody else. And we moved to a town called Scotch Plains, which I own the house I grew up in. And that's where we've been filming my show live from my mother's basement.
Guys, make sure you check that out on YouTube. Check that out. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You'll roll laughing. So
You're a
Live
couple
from my
hundred-
mother's basement because it's the basement.
that's it.
And I wanted to be an actor since I'm a little kid. And I grew up doing TV commercials. So when I was like 14, 15, I was already going to New York City from New Jersey on the bus. I was doing TV commercials. When I was 18, 19, I got on As the World Turns. I was on a soap for a year or two. It wasn't until I was like 27, 28, and I moved to Hollywood to see if I could make it in show business. That's when I started doing stand-up.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a little bit of a rare breed. I mean, my whole family has blonde hair, blue eyes. But they're authentically Bruzzese.
Right.
My mother spoke Italian. My father spoke Italian. We were never taught to speak Italian because at that time, it was one of those things where your parents said, you're Americans now,
Yeah.
so you're not going to speak Italian because we don't want you to get in any troubles.
It would be nice to have a little bit of Italian, like still
Yeah.
being able to speak it. Like
Now,
Right.
I wish I could say to my parents, are you out of your minds? I could have been bilingual.
Right.
Isn't it funny though? I'm not trying to change the topic, but isn't it funny that how things come full circle? Because right now, I feel like people would die, like our age group and this whole Italian wave that's happening right now, right? People, those individuals, a lot of them don't know how to speak Italian. Like I don't know how to, but I would
Right.
love to learn how to speak Italian.
I understand it. Like I hear them speak, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get it, but I get 30% of it. You know what I mean?
If my mother was alive today and she spoke to the three boys the way she did when we were younger, I know what she's saying.
Right.
I could return some of the language. But when I was 23 years old, I went to Italy to make a TV commercial. It was called Join the Navy, See the World. So I got to go to Italy with two other actors, well, there's 6 actors, and we stayed for 3 weeks. And in Rome, I tried to communicate with my mother's dialect, just hello, how are you? Can I order some food?
Right.
What time are we getting together? What car are we getting in? I knew how to have a general conversation.
Right.
And people in Rome looked at me and said, speak English. I don't know what the hell you just said. I go, no, get each.
So it's funny you say that because my uncle lives in Italy.
Yeah.
And he's in La Marche, which is like by Tuscany, but more in the mountains. And he likes to practice his Italian. So the other day I was on the phone with him. He's like, you'll never believe what happened. I was walking down the street and he said good morning in Italian to the guy walking down the street. And he turns around and goes, good morning, sir. And they both looked at each other and hysterically started laughing because they know he's American, but now he lives there full time. He's been there for 5 years now. And he's like, come on, man, give me an opportunity to practice my Italian. They don't want, they want to practice their English.
Yeah, that's right, man.
So it's funny how
everyone wants to speak American. You know what I mean? You gotta.
Well, when we went to these areas that was where they had the naval ships and the American ships, it was this town called Gaeta and Sperlonga, and they were beach resort areas, like as if you were going to Atlantic City, maybe. Nah, it was a lot nicer than Atlantic City.
You're giving me. I got
The
an
hell
itch
did I
now.
just say? No, it was it was kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't like New Jersey. Okay, let's leave it at that. It was beautiful.
Right.
But I was practicing my Italian in those neighborhoods because they didn't speak English at all. And they all looked at me and said, "What the hell are you saying?" And I'm like, wow. And that's when I first started to learn about the dialect.
Right.
Yeah.
How that it could be just that different. Because my mother would say, "Hello, how are you?" is more like, "Gariccia."
Oh, well, that's the thing.
They called it bastard Italian.
Because we fled, you know what I mean? We came to New Jersey.
Give me a light right there.
I think I do. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah. Hold on,
I
I'll
got,
grab.
actually, I got a lighter right here for you.
You got it, man?
Yeah, I got you, Python. There you go. I don't want you moving too much.
Yeah, I've been
hell
to
is
Italy
this?
actually a couple times. You're just gonna flip it, and then open it like a Zippo at the top. There you go. And
Look at that.
Yeah, we got our own lighters.
I actually have some Zippos
Yeah,
from the 60s.
really?
I'm a collector. I have antiques all over my house, and the antiques come from my family.
Okay.
So my father had these army ones, from when he was in the pre-Vietnam type thing. He didn't go to war, but he was in that thing. Oh, shit. I think I dropped my ashes.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it.
So I got a lighter collection. It's
Okay.
like 20 of them, bunch of knives, all shit from my family. I have my great-grandmother's passport from Italy.
Really?
Pretty weird to look. And you look at the lady, you're like,
It's
she came
different.
over at 80? Why bother? Why bother? What'd she even come for?
Yeah.
And you talk about people who didn't speak English. They were never going to speak English.
No,
Right,
not at 80 years
right.
old.
And they were scary people, too,
Oh, I would. Yeah, you get the belt and the spoon. But I always remember they would speak to me in Italian. I think they're telling me to go get water. They wanted me to get Coke. I don't know half the things they're saying half the time.
No.
You had Coke?
No, yeah, at 8 years old, yeah.
You had Coca-Cola?
Hey, no,
In
we're
our
a
family,
well-known
there was
family.
only one. Well, we had Coca-Cola in the refrigerator, but that was for company.
Yeah.
Right.
The kids didn't touch that. Don't you touch the Coca-Cola. That's in case we have company.
That's
But
the
we
good-
had, what's the Italian drink that cures any disease?
Oh.
Ginger ale.
Oh, right. Holy shit.
Ma, I got a sore throat. Have some ginger ale. Ma, I'm not feeling so good. Have some ginger ale. Ma, I broke my leg. Have a little ginger ale.
Yeah, right? It cures everything.
It cures everything.
It
Oh.
did fix a lot of things.
Uh-oh.
though.
Looks like we have a guest right now.
Oh,
Oh,
talking
maybe I
about-
shouldn't be lighting this now.
Oh, Mama T coming in hot. What do you got?
Get here on the camera. Put it right over there if you don't mind. Oh my god.
Is that Big
Ooh,
Ziti?
ooh.
Oh, my
Ooh.
God.
Did you bring me a bib too?
Now it gets a little sloppy.
Oh,
Ooh.
that looks
Look at
hot though. That looks
Look
like
at
it's
that.
steaming a little bit.
Woo!
Got a little steam coming off those things. You got forks, Mama T? Oh, Mama T, you're the best.
I got you. I got you.
Get
Look
the-
at that.
Get the close up.
Man.
Oh, I was gonna wait a little bit.
Oh.
I got a lot going on over here.
Oh.
You don't have to eat it, but
What do you want me to do with my hands? Oh, she even brought Parmesan cheese too.
She brought everything.
What are we at a pizzeria? Where did you get that from?
Would you like some?
Of course I do.
I've never seen that actually in someone's house, like the old cheese grater. I feel like I've only seen that at pizzerias, like never at someone's house.
What?
These are all over my house. You know
Are
why?
they?
Because you take them. But when you go to a nice pizza place or a shitty pizza place, it doesn't really matter. You do the right thing and you take it.
That's a true life lesson right there from New
Nothing
Jersey.
like an Italian putting cheese on cheese. I need to cheese up my cheese.
I always cheese up my cheese.
Yeah, there's no other way.
That's why you gotta always have your wife or your girlfriend bring a pocketbook with you. This way you can make sure you get the cheese shaker, right?
And he's a cop.
Well, I didn't say that. You know.
No, but that's what I would do. Bring your pocketbook. We're going out to dinner.
I'm gonna do a citizen's arrest.
Bring your
in here.
pocketbook. We're going out to dinner. We're
Oh,
coming
man.
home with some things. We need a salt and pepper shaker. When I first moved to Hollywood and I was all on my own and I didn't have any money, I would go to a place, grab some pizza, and everything came to my house.
How was the pizza?
I
over
still
there?
do it. and I make great money. And anytime I see something that I think is, maybe I shouldn't be saying that because something might be missing from this basement. You got some gold lady over there smoking a cigar. I think I'd like to take that thing.
You want it? You got it. It's yours.
It's more fun if I take it and you guys get mad. I think Marino took the...
Fucking Marino.
He took the bowls.
See, one of my favorite things to take from people, if back in the day, was you take one of their shoes, because you only take one though. You know why? Because if you take two, you'll forget about them. Yeah. When you take one, you'll look in your entire house and be like, "What did my shoe walk away?" Like, yeah, it did, motherfucker. It's at my house.
You know what? We had a party actually. My kid had a party when I was in high school, and one kid decided he's taking the family portrait. He went and took the family portrait off the wall. So all the photos were there of all the kids on this side, and there's one family portrait right in the middle. He took it and he put it in his car, and then he left with it. And the kid said his parents came home and said, "Did you have people here?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't have anybody here. Mom, Dad, I promise I didn't have anybody here." Right. They're like, why the fuck is the family portrait missing from the wall? He had no explanation. Till this day, it's still gone.
It's still gone.
Is that not hysterical?
That's in someone's house, in their basement.
Why would you take someone's family portrait?
I gotta be honest with you, that's one of the coolest things I ever heard. I'm ready to take somebody else's family photo out of their house, put it in my basement, so that when people come over and they go, "Who's this?" I'm like, I really don't remember who they are. I like the frame.
You got a collection.
I like the frame. Why is there a hole in it? Well, they had a dog. I didn't like the way the dog, I cut him out. I cut out the dog. Eventually, I'm going to cut out the husband. Screw him.
You put your head on that? Oh,
That's
man.
funny as shit.
That's good.
Is that good?
Yeah, and the pasta's great.
Oh.
I got a trivia question for you. Well, it's not trivia. How could you be a bodybuilder and have pasta?
It's hard.
Because, I mean, I just look at pasta and my belly blows up.
I get heartburn before it even starts.
Thank God I don't get heartburn from the pasta. Wine, sometimes the drink, I burn up.
Yeah.
It'll get you.
They'll burn up.
Right.
Pepsi should give you a sponsorship. There you go. Pepsi. Hey, let's go. Both of us need a sponsorship.
I'm fighting back. Tump.
Well, talking about Pepsi commercials, you just did a new commercial with a pizzeria, Tony's Pizza, right?
Phenomenal.
Great.
It's hysterical.
That kid's name is Nick. They call him the #1 Guido. Maybe you guys should have him on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
And he's blowing up on the internet. He does really, really funny stuff. And I guess him and the director and they were at Danny Trejo has a restaurant in Hollywood. Do you know who he is? Danny Trejo. I guess he was in jail for a long time. Came out, became an actor. He's like one of the most recognizable Mexican-looking maniacs.
Oh, is that the guy with the long hair?
Yes.
Been in, like,
Yes. He's all tatted out.
Yes, I know exactly who it is. Yep.
Yes.
So we go to Danny Trejo's restaurant to shoot this commercial. I pull up in my car. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and here comes this 19, 20-year-old kid screaming, "Holy shit, I can't believe it. It's Mike Marino. It's Mike Marino." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Can I park in the parking lot? Why are we here so early?" And he goes, "Man, this is so great. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it." And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm a big fan. Can I call my mother?" What? He goes, "Yeah, my mother, she's going to go crazy. She finds out you're here." So he calls up his mother on FaceTime, and I'm like, "Hello, how are you?" "Oh, my God, my son's with you." I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it reminded me of when I was like that.
Right.
Because when I first went on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, one of his guests, I hope you guys remember, his name was Dom DeLuise.
Yep, absolutely.
And Dom DeLuise, Italian, been in a lot of movies, known for all these great things that he did. And I'm like, "Hey, Dom, how you doing? My name's Mike, and I'm going to be doing some of the sketches. And my mother's a really, really big fan. Would you mind if I call my mother?" Now, you're talking about a time where you had to pick up a phone.
Right. There's no FaceTime.
And it was long distance. So we went into the green room of The Tonight Show, and I called my mother from their phone, so I didn't have to pay for it. You had to pay for this shit. It was expensive. And I'm like, "Mom, I'm doing a Tonight Show, and I'm here with Dom DeLuise. No, you're not. No, I am. Well, put him on the phone.
That's great.
So I put Dom DeLuise on the phone. He starts talking to my mother. General, hello, how are you?
Right.
Oh, my God. 20 minutes later, Jay comes in the room. This is a true story. He goes, where the hell is Dom DeLuise? I'm like, my mother's telling him his recipe.
Right.
They're talking about raviolis and meatballs.
Right. Full circle, though, right?
He wouldn't put the phone down. He kept on talking. No, Mrs. Marino, what you gotta do.
Right.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was probably a comedy skit in itself. If you could record that phone call, it probably would have been phenomenal.
No
Right?
such thing as TikTok at that time, man.
Right.
Damn.
Yep, exactly.
So
This
you
is
met
great.
So you met that young guy going to do that commercial.
I'll go in and do the commercial.
Right.
Then we shot the commercial. They had this idea of, the mob comes to see the kid, which is kind of like Spider in Goodfellas.
Yep.
And he says, the pizza's frozen.
It was good.
And we look at him like, you eat frozen pizza? Put him in the freezer.
Right.
So we shot that for hours. They put the poor kid in the freezer, and of course they put the makeup on him, make him look like he was frozen. But we were kind of making up the lines.
Right.
So when the one guy goes, hey, it's not bad. And I go, give me that thing. Get him out of the freezer. Get him out of the freezer. And he's frozen.
It's honestly, it was a great.
It's
commercial.
hilarious.
Yeah, it is honestly hilarious.
Now, is that released yet? Can people see that? Or did we just get a behind-the-scenes snippet?
No, I don't really know.
Because it's hysterical. If
Ju-
it's out there, you
just
gotta
put
watch
it out today. So I don't know where it's going to play, but right now it is on Instagram.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Tony's Pizza.
It's going viral
Right.
right now.
It's a great commercial.
Yeah, it's
it
phenomenal.
honestly is genius.
We could do a commercial for Mama T.
Yeah, that's
the
it.
baked ziti.
Right? Here we are in the basement having baked ziti from Mama T. And when we're done having this delicious baked ziti, we're going to have dessert. It's the only Italian basement that dessert is presented in the strangest cannoli form I've ever seen in my entire life. The cannoli cream is not inside the cannoli. It's in the center of the plate. I can't reach it. And then you dip. Did she make this from scratch or something?
Well, welcome to the new world. You know what I mean? Everything's got to be progressive.
And there it is.
Mama's tea cannoli.
Mama T. Cannoli. You dip your cannoli crust in the cream.
So when
That's
you
it.
bite into it,
That's almost dirty. What happened? Well, I dipped my crust in the cream.
and
It
now,
multiplied.
and now I got to take medicine.
Oh, yeah. Too bad you didn't have her cutlets.
How could...
You know what I mean? I know, I'm telling you. Well, listen.
I never really knew chicken cutlets was that famous amongst Italians.
Very
I thought it was
famous.
my mother's thing. That's it.
It's not a very big thing other places, chicken cutlet. It's like
Yeah.
Taylor ham. It's like New Jersey. Bagel, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Oh, it's one of the best things in the morning. I don't care what anyone says. Like, it's
Yeah.
not good for you, but that Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, I like a little hot sauce on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just give you it wakes you up a little bit. You know, it's one of the best things.
I'm
in
more
the
of a
world.
ketchup guy.
Ketchup. I never heard of hot sauce.
Yeah.
You might have to leave the basement. That's so not right.
I'm telling you.
I agree with you on that one.
Is there egg on it?
It's Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup with a dabble of hot sauce. Try it. Tell me, do you like a little
I can
spice?
understand if the egg is there,
Right.
because the egg will absorb the hot sauce. But hot sauce just on the Taylor ham or pork roll, whatever you want to call it. I never even knew Taylor ham or pork roll, whatever you call it,
Right.
was a Jersey thing till I got to California. And I asked somebody, I said, yeah, I like to get a little pork roll. They're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, I want a little pork roll. And how come that guy ain't pumping the gas in the car?
Right.
How long am I going to sit here?
Right.
What's going on?
Where's the guy?
How long did you wait?
5 minutes. I got to do it myself? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. That's a huge discussion in New Jersey, pork roll and Taylor ham. If you go down south, or what I call middle New Jersey, but they like to, I went down there for a wedding, and I asked the guy, he pulled up in a food truck. Well, his food truck was pork roll. I said, can I get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese? He blasted me. I don't sell goddamn pork roll or Taylor ham. I sell pork roll.
I told him to make
We're
the damn
south- we're-
sandwich.
Yeah, right. I was like, all right, guy. See you later. I mean, either way, it's, yeah.
Make the sandwich, buddy.
I was always told this, and you can look it up on the internet. and you can actually see. Taylor is a brand
Yes.
that makes pork roll.
Right.
Pork roll is what it is.
Yes.
Taylor is the name of the company. There's another company that makes pork roll too. I forgot the name of it, but Taylor was the most famous. So it was almost like saying Kleenex makes tissues.
Right.
So your tissue is not a Kleenex, it's a tissue.
It's a tissue. Yeah, that's a good point.
Guess who else makes the tissue? Scotty's. Scott's tissues, Kleenex tissues. Taylor pork roll.
It's the most accurate statement I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I still want it on my bagel though. You can't get it from anywhere else.
I'll never change. I'm still gonna call it Taylor ham. I don't care where I am though.
I called it Taylor ham when I was younger. When I started doing stand-up, I called it pork roll because it becomes more generic. Even though I do say gravy on stage, I say sauce.
You say sauce? You give into it.
Well, because you have to, because you're making it generic
Right.
You have to.
for people who don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So if I was performing in Texas
Right.
and I said, yeah, I had this delicious gravy on my macaroni, they go, what the hell did that boy just say?
Yeah.
right.
So you just
Right.
make it normal
Right.
for them.
So okay. So we talked about you going out to L.A.
How
were
come you
doing-
ain't eating?
No, it's like my hands full. I got this.
Just so you know, this is the first time you've ever had to say, Mario, why are you not eating? Do you know, me and Mario have been friends since we were younger, probably like 6th grade.
Yeah.
The
been a
first
long
thing
time.
he does and has done ever since I've known him, beeline to my parents' refrigerator and pantry. How you doing, Mr. Feach? How you doing, Miss Feach? Yeah, immediately in the pantry. Still to this day, he walks upstairs, looks at all the kids' snacks and everything. Never.
I'm Eddie Rascal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I walk in, hey,
Go clean your house out.
But then I'll go into their fridge and I'll do serious damage. I go
Oh, yeah.
food shopping. I get bags. Before I leave here today, you'll see me with a couple of bags.
He's gonna line his pockets with Ziplocs.
I got fresh vegetables. I got a couple of these to go. You know what I mean? That's how I do it.
He's an animal.
You know, when I first moved to California, I guess I was around maybe 23, 24 years old, and I went to go do 3 months to see if I would like it. My mother mailed me food.
Ooh.
Now, you're talking about a time where it was expensive. FedEx was just coming on the scene, I think. And my mother would freeze gravy
Right.
with brajoles and meatballs and everything in that old school Tupperware that used to be white, but it turned red for some reason.
right. It's because of that. It's like that grease.
You ain't
on
getting
top.
that grease out of there.
Yeah, it's
No.
a beautiful thing.
So she'd freeze it, and then she'd take a mopine, kitchen towel,
Yep.
and wrap it around and pull it tight, a little knot on the top, put it in a box. Then my mother had to mail me Ronzoni macaroni.
Right.
She knew what number, like I can't get it in
Right.
California,
Right,
but she
right.
put that in there too. All right, you ready for this? Stella D'Oro S cookies.
Yes.
Excuse me, Stella D'Oro S cookies.
That's the S.
Absolutely.
With the sprinkle of sugar
They
on
call
top.
it something, I don't know.
Right.
Stella D'Oro breakfast treats. We called it the S cookie.
S cookies. Yep.
And sometimes she'd put Progresso soups in there. And it was heavy as hell. God knows how much money it cost. Somehow she got it overnight. And I'm ready to eat
She knew a guy.
the next day.
Right. That's awesome.
And then I tell my friends, I've been slaving for days. Come on over.
Take all the credit. Oh, it's
I got to
great.
be honest with you, man. I used to cry on Sundays. I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
Well, I wanted to ask you before. We were
You
talking
couldn't
about
even call because it was long distance.
Right. So I wanted to ask you before. We were talking about Sundays and how like it was just like a special day. You would eat like that good food all day. Have you ever been to someone's house on a Sunday that wasn't your own parents? And you're like, what the hell are they cooking? Like, what are they doing over there?
Yes and no. Most of the people we knew were Italian. We knew they were going to have good food anyway.
Right.
My mother would make fun of it. That's not like your mother made. Well, it's pretty close, man.
Right.
It's your sister.
It'll never be the mothers, right? That's
Yeah.
great.
You know, your Aunt Mary never made the gravy like your mother made the gravy. Well, she was standing next to you. What the fuck were you doing?
She doesn't know what she's doing, right? Oh,
It's so
hysterical.
true.
It's so true.
I literally met him going to my aunt's house on Sundays to eat her pasta versus my mom's at times. Because he lived right by my aunt. That's how we became best friends, 20 years ago, is that I would go to my aunt's on a Sunday. I would eat the fresh pasta there, and my mom would do the same thing. It's an Italian thing. It's like it's so
You want to hear something funny?
generational.
So my son Joey, he's Joey the third. We're all Joes in our family, right? I'm Joe. My dad's Joe. My grandfather's Joe. Everybody. So my oldest Joey, he's 5 years old. My father lived with us for a little bit of time, and he's a very good cook. He used to make meatballs. So now my son Joey loves making meatballs. So we make meatballs together. One day he looks at me and he's like, "Hey Dad, can we make meatballs?" I go, "Yeah, no problem. We'll make meatballs on Sunday. We'll make meatballs. We're not making them like Grandpa. We're gonna change something up." 5 years old, he's saying that. I'm like, "Okay, what are we changing? Instead of 1 cup of water, we're putting 2. Don't tell Grandpa." I go, "Okay." So we do it. He was persistent. 2 cups of water. We put 2 cups of water. I let him do his thing. They came out. They're great. Everybody comes over for Sunday dinner. We're all eating. Who made these meat? They're phenomenal. Joe, you did a good. No. Joey made these. He went to school the next day. He was telling all his kids, all the kids are looking. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
His teacher's like, "Do you know Joey was bragging about his meatballs? How he put a special, 2 cups of water." I was so happy. I was like, that is like an old fashioned thing,
Right.
that none of the other kids even could relate to. But me and my wife, we were hysterically laughing. We were like, that is the old fashioned, get the family together, have a Sunday dinner, and he was so proud of it, and I was so happy.
And I think that's how you make America great again, is by bringing those Sunday dinners back, because many people don't do that anymore.
Make America Italian again.
Oh, that's right. Let's make America. So that's what I wanted to ask you. So I've obviously seen a bunch of your shows. I know a lot of people who've talked about you in the past, about like all your shows, your stand-ups, and you're doing a bunch of shows now, right? You got a bunch of shows coming up.
Yeah.
I saw.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Everybody, check out his Instagram. We're going to put it right here. Check out his Instagram. If you go to his Instagram, you could click on his profile. You could see all his updated tours coming. He's going to be in New Jersey, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 5 times just coming up recently, right? This summer. I think about 5 times.
This summer in New Jersey, I love to play New Jersey in the summer because we'll go all the way down to Wildwood, Atlantic City, Brigantine, Hasbury Park, and come all the way up to northern Jersey. But I like to stay south because that's where everybody goes.
Yep.
And I have the greatest time. I have my alma maters. I even got one in Long Beach Island. So then we're going to do New York City,
Nice.
Brooklyn, Long Island, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia areas. But then I'm going to, I got some gigs in Texas. This year we're going to do some Kansas, and then Las Vegas and California.
Wow.
I live in Los Angeles, technically. But I love performing everywhere. And, of course, when you come to New Jersey, then I could do some stuff about the way things used to be. So, like, when you guys are even just talking about the food alone and the Sundays, I remember, let's say, I'll give you a Thanksgiving Eve. My mother would call her sister Aunt Mary, and Aunt Mary would sleep over because they would cook and
Right.
kibitz. And they would make all the andibast. We'd say andibast.
Right. The wine.
We never made wine in our family, but my mother did make her own gravy from crushed tomatoes and then whatever she did, and then she froze it. But on Thanksgiving, and people started coming over, we were in the basement. That's when you got a 4x8 piece of wood and put it over the top of a little tiny table, and that was the dining room table that we made in the basement. Across from that was the kids' table, sat about 6 people. My Uncle Tommy was the type of guy who, that's what got me in the stand-up. I would impersonate my uncle. He was a cross between Lieutenant Columbo and Archie Bunker. And he would say stuff like this: now that your Uncle Tommy's done having his dinner, make sure you get me a piece of chocolate, otherwise I'm sitting in the toilet counting tiles. What? And when you're a kid, that scares the hell out of you.
But it's also a genius line.
Yeah, it is. It's phenomenal.
It's a good line.
You stupids. He would say that all the time. Everybody's stupid. Because when we were younger, we were smarter. You were all stupid. And his Uncle Tommy would say things like, Ed, you see your president now? Finally listen to me. What? You don't know the president. I knew him when he was a singer in Hoboken. What? But he meant that shit. And when you're a little kid, you're like, wow, Uncle Tommy knows the president.
Right.
That's great.
Right? So then we'd have, and I bet you guys did this too. So here comes Thanksgiving dinner. You got your basket cheeses, you got your mozzarella, you got your all provolone and everything. You get your salami super sad and all of this, olives, artichoke hearts, and all of that laid out. Bread fresh from the guy down the block.
100%.
And then here comes your macaroni. We would have, most of the time, raviolis was my favorite. So you have your raviolis. But I don't know about you guys, but my mother would have the raviolis and your meatballs, and then you have the salad. Because I guess back in the day, maybe that was like the palate cleaner
Right.
or whatever. And my mother would say, make sure you take your bread and you wipe your gravy good, because I'm going to put the salad in the same plate.
Yes.
Right.
Because
Yep.
we don't got a dishwasher.
You wipe the bowl clean.
You
got
wipe it clean, right?
You got it.
And we had oil and vinegar most of the time on your salad. There was nobody in the basement that said, you got any ranch dressing?
Oh, no.
You'd have got your fucking ass kicked. A what? A who? There's a ranch in Texas. Get the hell out of here. My Uncle Tommy. You know what's going to happen here? Someday when your mother ain't around, you ain't never going to eat like this again, because the girls here are nothing but mitigans.
That's it. You got to find the right one, right?
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
You got to bring it back.
Yeah.
But after you're having all this food, then the turkey would come out.
Right.
And everybody go, oh, we ain't eating that.
No, it's dry. I don't know if I can eat
What the
that
fuck
shit.
that? I ain't eating that. Well, have the potatoes.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing?
Yeah.
Man, my mother would go like this. You know, your brother's family, sister-in-law, she made the stuffing. And I go, really? Yeah.
I know it's
Don't eat it.
Right.
Don't eat it. Why? They put raisins in it.
Oh,
They put
no.
There's raisins in the stuffing? Yeah, don't have it. Well, maybe it's good, Mom. I'll crack you right in the fucking head. Don't you miss those people?
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
And the stories.
And you know when she was telling you that, she's probably like pulling you over. She's like, and whispering, right? It's like backdooring, but it's so on point. I
But
love
she
it.
knows she's talking loud enough that the other family
The other one can-
hears it. She's like, no.
Stirring the pot.
Oh,
Here's
something
here's
better.
one of the routines I first did about my Uncle Tommy. I would go on stage. I would put on the long overcoat, because he always had the raincoat and a fedora. Lucky Brand cigarettes with no filter.
I love it.
He had false teeth at a young age. So if you're 10 years old and you see those teeth wiggle, you get petrified.
Okay.
And he would go like this. I said, Uncle Tommy, my girlfriend broke up with me. He goes, that's all right, get another one. I go, yeah, but she was really good in bed. Oh, that's disgusting, you sons of bitches, you stupid kids. You don't know what you got these days. You fooled around already at your age? You think your Aunt Mary and your Uncle Tommy fooled around with Fortebrays when we was kids? We didn't fool around with the Fortebray. You think your mother and father fooled around and finacerated with the Fortebrays? We didn't do none of that. No, sir. We got that on the side. We married the nice girls.
That's it.
Could you imagine?
Oh, it's hysterical.
Now go get the candy. Your uncle's got the shits. Get the candy. I'm constipated.
Oh my god.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, I
That's
love
good.
it.
That's good.
You know, Mister. He would call everybody Mister. When we was kids, there was a war. Big time, the real war, when real men went to the war. I'll never forget it, because your father and I were drafted at the same time. I think we was in the second grade. What? What? Yeah, no, because on the way home from school, you had to go work in a shipyard. Here's my uncle's story, too. I got to bring this back. You probably heard this, right? You don't know how good you got it
Oh, of course.
compared to
Yeah.
when we was kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't know how good you got it. When I was a kid, I had 16 brothers and sisters in a one-bedroom apartment. In the morning, we only had 6 pairs of shoes between us. So if you didn't get the shoes, you had to walk to school in your socks. And we only had 4 pairs of socks between us. So in the morning, if you didn't get the shoes or the socks, you got your ass kicked because you was too lazy and you got up late. What the fuck?
Yeah, what are you talking about,
What the-
Tommy?
But they meant that shit.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
right.
It was a different way of life back then.
I
You know
think
what I
right, and I think you see it generationally. Like I work in a high school, and like I see those times change too. Where like these kids nowadays, they don't get how we did
No.
it, and we don't get how you did it. It's just like it's just a never-ending circle. Man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I guess it's just a generational thing. I miss those good old days.
Right.
Like you have no idea. I mean, I really didn't even know that we were just so Italian.
Right.
On a Monday, going to school, let's just say high school, I already knew what I was having for lunch in the brown bag. Monday, you're having meatballs smashed on Wonder White bread.
It's a beautiful day.
And it was a beautiful thing.
It was a
Yeah.
beautiful
I'll take
day.
that any day of the
She
week.
smashed them in there. You got a bag of potato chips and a Twinkie. And my mother would write Anthony, Michael, Hall on 3 separate lunches. And I says, but Ma, you don't have to write our names on the brown bag. All the lunches are the same. She goes, no, that's not right. You never know which one's going to get something special. So that's the way she did it.
Right.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine on a Sunday, you come home from church, and your father drives you to the Italian deli to get the bread. The bread was so warm. The place smelled so good. The sawdust on the floor, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They spoke Italian. You know what the hell they said? You walk in the door, the whole house reeks of gravy.
Mm-hmm.
The gravy's on the stove. It's got the little boiling bubbles.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But you're not allowed
So
in the
what
kitchen. Yeah.
you're not supposed to go anywhere near this shit. But what did we do? You took the ass of the bread off,
Yeah.
boom. You dipped it in there, because it was fucking hot as shit. Burned the roof of your mouth, and you had that dangling thing the rest of the day. And so what did we do? We took the bread out of the sleeves, turned it around, and shoved it back in. So it looked like we didn't touch it.
Right.
My mother would go downstairs and go, which one of you bitches bit this fucking bread? And I was like, but Mom, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. You're going to be full. You ain't going to eat your food. On a
we're
little-
gonna eat.
And you always eat the food.
Of course. Yeah.
There's nothing better.
This is seriously the way I came up with an iconic stand-up routine
Yeah.
called The Last Supper.
Okay.
Because my mother always said the same thing, bless her heart. Everybody better look at the food that I just made, because I've had it. I'm too old. I ain't cooking no more.
Oh yeah.
Call everybody else. This is it. This is the last time I'm cooking. So I turned it into a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It's,
And I said, my mother would say all the time, this is the last time I'm cooking. She said it so much that I believe it was my greatest ancestor that was responsible for the Last Supper. And she said to Jesus, look, I've had it. I'm too old. I can't do it no more. You better take a picture. Tell you what, call your friend Leonardo da Vinci. Tell him I said, paint a picture of all your friends eating that you call apostles. This is it. I ain't doing it no more. This is the Last Supper.
I fucking love it.
And, and then for 40 days and 40 nights, that's why they fasted, because she wasn't cooking.
She wasn't there.
Right.
But then Easter came around, she said, fuck it, and she cooked. And that's why Christ rose again from the dead. He smelt the sauce and the meatballs. Jesus was Italian.
That's fucking great.
Honestly, the math adds up.
Yeah, 100%.
It adds up.
A lot of people, you know what, that's making a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah, actually-
the lineage is there. I see it. I see it.
I think that's written in the Bible. I think it's written in the scripts.
Oh,
And let me
my
tell you
God.
something. I'm going to come up with this right here, right now. If Jesus was alive today and the apostles were around, they'd have a podcast called The Last Supper.
That's it. That's it.
What are you watching tonight? The Last Supper. How many episodes did he did? 40.
Right. Well, because they always say that, and then every Sunday you're going there for dinner. It doesn't matter how many times they say it.
My mother cooked until the day she passed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She wasn't going nowhere.
Yep.
I give anything for all those people to be around today.
Right.
Or what, because I'm in the house I grew up in. So when I'm in the basement, I'm like, where the fuck is everybody?
Yeah.
What
Right.
happened?
It's all those
'Cause-
memories, right?
Yes. And I remember my mother would say all the time, go sit at the kids' table. Make nice with your cousins. Someday you're going to sit at the adults' table. And that's the day you're going to wish you didn't sit at the adults' table. I'm like, why, man? I want to sit at the adults' table.
Right.
You're only going to get a chair when somebody passes.
Mm.
And then somebody would pass. You're like, I got the shit. Oh, I'd rather go back to the kids' table.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The kids' table's where it's at. Because you don't get that table until you're like 30, and then you really understand what's happening.
Yep.
Bingo.
So is that why you do your podcast in your mom's basement? Is you feel like it's something that brings you back to a different time? That like
Yeah. Every thing that my mother acquired in her life, grandmother too, like sleds from when you were a kid are sitting in the ceiling.
right.
Memorabilia, VHS copies. I actually have a VHS player.
That might be worth a lot of money nowadays. Actually,
Somebody told me they are because you can't get them.
you can't get them.
But like anything, I have my uncle's, accordion.
Oh my!
That's awesome.
Dude,
It just sits there.
Yeah.
right.
Nobody plays it. My drum set from when I was a kid. It just became
There's
a man
sediment-
cave.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's sentimental value. to it.
Sentimental value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got my GI Joe dolls from the 1960s. And
Those
in fact,
are
I
probably
have
worth
I
money.
have two Tonka trucks that I gave to that 12-year-old kid who's got that Giuseppe's garage.
Yeah.
He's going to remodel them. He's going to
Really?
spray paint them. He pulls them apart.
You just
Could
did
you
that,
imagine
right?
that?
Giuseppe's garage.
I was at his house yesterday.
in PA, right? Was that
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Pennsylvania, right.
You should see the shit in this kid's garage, man.
Well, I saw his opening line, and he was good in that. He was like, "Hey, today I'm here with Mike Marino. If you want to laugh your ass off." I was like, once he said "laugh your ass off," I'm like, "Yes, this
Yeah,
kid's
this kid's legit.
This kid's got it."
Yeah.
He's so intelligent.
Right.
I can't wait for the podcast to air, but we were doing other stuff in his garage. But his father was remodeling cars. What do you call it? Auto body repairman.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And there's a black Cadillac from, like, say, the 50s or 40s in the garage. And I said, this looks like the car in The Godfather when he said, leave the gun, take the cannolis.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, it's not this one, it's that one. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Come on.
Yeah.
Who
And
is
he
this
go,
guy?
and he explained the body parts of those cars and how he knows the people who owned those cars.
Wow.
I'm like, you're 12.
Right.
You're 12. You weren't even a thought when The Godfather came out. Come on. Well, he said, he goes, in the scene when they're driving over the bridge and Michael Corleone goes, we're going to New Jersey. And he does that quick thing.
Yeah.
He goes, I knew that guy. My father knew the guy. He owned the car. He wasn't an actor. He was a guy who owned the car. So he's the one who did that thing. And I go, so what do you know? And he goes, well, it wasn't a Cadillac. It was a this and a this. And there's the grill from that car hanging on the wall. I'm like, motherfucker.
Wow.
It's like impressive, right?
Yes.
Like it's
and
like,
he knew. So he knew about the other one that and those cars weren't around in that time. They were rented.
Yeah.
So the
Yep.
scene when Michael Corleone finally comes back from Italy and he's walking on the street and he goes up to see Kay and his kids walking around and the Cadillac is following them.
Yeah.
He knew that guy and he knew that car.
well, everyone from New Jersey knows everyone. That's why, It's
I get that too, maybe that too, because they are originally from New Jersey. They were out in Pennsylvania now.
Well, I also think if you're that big in the car industry, you know people. Like I know
Right.
a couple people that are huge in car industry. They collect and everything, and they know everybody that has like the special cars. So that makes sense. I mean, this kid is so immersed in
right.
what he loves, so that makes a lot of sense. How he.
I told these guys I'd give anything to have my 1986 IROC.
You had an.
I had an 86 IROC. I think it was when they came out. I had a white one with burgundy interior. I used to fly down the parkway. And I said, I really wish I could have it. He just looked at me and he goes, how much you think you'd pay for one? I'm like, dude, come on, man. Come on, man. Where are they? Isn't
You
it?
get it. Yeah. I had a 1991 Z28 Camaro. Same thing. It was pretty much IROC. I
had
loved it.
The T-wing and everything.
Well, it's the same car, right?
Yeah, mine was black with black interior. But I love that car.
A 91?
91 Z28.
I'm pretty sure they came out in 85, 86.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not a huge car guy, but yeah, you're probably right.
Rack and pinion steering. Used to hug the ground like a bug.
Yes. Yep.
Did
It
you bring,
was-
did you
Little
bring it
black
to LA?
bra in the front. No, I didn't. No, I sold it.
You left, right.
I sold it because I left for LA. I had a 1967 Ford Mustang, which was my first car. It was $600. I think I was 17.
It's probably a mean.
I wonder
sound.
where that is now, man.
Yeah, right.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Probably. But they even had like license plates that belonged to JFK's car.
Wow.
Like, where do you
Right.
even get this? And then I had to say to myself, "Don't take nothing." You know,
So would you leave?
I
with?
would've.
Mario,
would've.
on the way out, we're just gonna pat him down, all right? We'll make sure he's in.
Could you imagine all of a sudden you're getting ready to go to bed with your wife and you go, "That Marino, what a great guy. He took the family photo. He took the family photo. How did he even get to our bedroom, honey?"
Oh my God, I would fucking die.
He said he needed to use the bathroom.
The bedroom's not even upstairs. How did he
Oh,
get
my
up
God.
here?
That would honestly, I would probably be like, you know what? Let him take it. He all the effort. Let him take
He
it.
deserves
He
it.
deserves
Imagine
Like
that. Then you guys are watching my podcast. You see it behind my head.
Oh my.
I got a guest on my show. Is that your family? Yes, my extended family.
I met him last week. The dog's not in this one though.
he even took the cheese shaker. He took the cheese shaker. Who takes that from a house?
I understand a restaurant, a house. No. Oh my God. Now, Mike, real quick, I wanted to ask you about this jacket that you got here because
Yeah, man.
it's pretty impressive.
Definitely.
Now, did you make this yourself or?
No, man. I get lucky sometimes. You know, you get sponsors and you get fans, and people like to do things for you. This jean jacket was made for me by this woman. Her name is Anna Dre, and she upcycles clothes.
Okay.
So she takes clothes from the past, and I gave her some of my own clothes. She put it on this jacket. I have matching jeans. I have matching hats. And she just detailed the crap out of this jacket. And I love it so much because my slogan, you know, make America Italian again.
Right.
She put all over the jacket. I mean, look
Yeah.
at how cool this is, man.
I love it.
It's great. Yeah. You got the different symbols on each side. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
A couple
Yeah.
Gucci symbols on there.
Yeah, she put the Gucci on there. She got some nice slogans on here. I
Yeah.
hope you guys can see this. And it's just really, really cool. I really liked it. So here's how you do something for somebody who does something for you, right? I wore it on a talk show, just like we were talking here. And it was a big talk show. So everybody was like, "Where did you get it?" I was wearing the jacket. I was wearing the jeans. I says, "Well, the lady made me the jacket. Anna Dre, Upcycled Creations _27. So once I did that, before you know it, she started to get orders. Orders not for jackets, but pocketbooks and handbags and all the stuff that she makes. That's
Right.
what she does, right? So she was really happy, and she goes, "What can I do for you?" And I says, No, I'm cool. Go make some money. I hope you blow up, whatever.
Right.
You ever come to see me, I'll get you some complimentary tickets. Oh, my son's Matty, and he does a lot of social media. He was doing a lot of stuff with Justin Bieber. You should talk to my son. And I says, all right, let me talk to your son. Well, 2 weeks later, I'm on the biggest marquee in Times Square
Wow.
Really?
for free.
That's
And,
awesome.
and he hooked me up. He filmed it. And so what did I do? I stood in front of the marquee with the jeans on, the jacket on. I'm
Right.
like, make America Italian again. Come see me live. On a Dre, Upcycle Crate, the whole everything. And everybody flourished.
Yeah.
Right.
See, that's awesome.
And I think that's what you talk about a lot, right?
I
Is
do.
about
Yeah. I always say you have to network and you have to surround yourself with good people and you have to treat people and promote other people, and it all comes back full circle.
It does.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, you know what? You're a good person. That's why. 'Cause
Yeah.
some people will take that and they'll be like, "Thanks, see you later," and they'll run with it,
Right.
right? And then they won't really shout out that person. But you shouted her out. Obviously, we're gonna tag her in this, and we'll give her some publicity on this too. But it speaks volumes of the person that you are, you know. So
There's a guy in Florida. His name is Larry Lawton. Larry Lawton has a podcast too, and he sells cigars. He has a cigar line called Crooked Diamond Cigars.
Okay.
They're called Crooked Diamond Cigars because he was a jewel thief. And
Really?
back in, I guess, the 80s,
Okay.
he robbed a building or whatever. He took the jewels, the diamonds, and went to jail for 13 years. Comes out of jail, decides to write a book about how to keep your kids out of jail. He ends up getting a podcast, a radio show. He's doing all this stuff about how to save your kids from doing what I did.
Right.
And I think his book was called Redemption, Larry Lawton's Redemption. He is kicking ass.
Good.
That sounds awesome.
His books are selling.
Right.
His podcast is making a ton of money. He's selling the cigars.
Right.
So he comes to see me do stand-up. We're buddies. I went on his podcast. Larry's supposed to come on my podcast. We didn't do it yet, but he's out in Florida. And his story is just a miracle story.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's the sweetest guy. So we were in Hollywood one night, and I was performing at the Laugh Factory, and here comes Larry Lawton. And he's sitting in the room. You know, I knew he was coming. He
Right.
comes to a lot of my shows. And I go, ladies and gentlemen, superstar Larry Lawton's here tonight. And everybody's looking as if to say, oh, it must be a movie star. It must be on TV. And I'm like,
Right.
no, he's a crook.
Yeah, right.
He's a crook. This guy,
Curveball.
he did jail time. That's what you got to do these days. Jail time. You get a movie deal.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
Right. You get a
Yeah.
book signing. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's awesome though, right? Like, and I think that's what we always go back to is that like we're not here to, be better than anyone else. We're here to be us and enjoy this experience. We get to enjoy a cigar, get to know you a little bit, and I think that's the most important thing. Is like you help someone, you help a paisan, you're gonna get like you're not looking for anything back. But if you put that good energy out, then good things are gonna come back.
I'm hoping it's always going to be that way because,
Right.
There are a lot of Italian people don't help each other.
No,
They could be very
100%.
nasty to each other.
Definitely.
It's a big ego. And I don't know why that is, but I do experience it a lot.
Right.
And after a while, you feel like, oh, come on, man.
Right.
Come
Yep.
on. Can't we just stick together? I mean, come on. I think if we stuck together the right way, you think they really would have took down a Columbus Day statue somewhere? Come on.
You ever see the
We coulda- we-
Sopranos episode when they do that in the Sopranos?
No.
Oh, in the Sopranos, they do this like 20 years ago. They take one down, and and Tony and the guys go there, and it ends up being like a big thing. It was a great episode.
It should be a big thing.
It is a big thing. But
I was on the board of directors of the Feast of San Gennaro in Los Angeles for 10 years. And it was never done, and it was all New Yorkers and New Jersey Italians, and we did this great, great thing. But by the 10th year, 11th year, egotistical people started to fight. And before you know it, it's over.
Yep.
how
it's
how does the St. Gennaro Festival in L.A. compare to the one that's over here in Newark?
Or what
Newark
about
or
New
New
York?
York?
No,
New York?
like
New
New York.
York,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
They were different because the one in New York is 80 somewhat years old. Maybe it's pushing 90 years, maybe 85 years. And it's on the streets. What we did in Los Angeles was in the back parking lot where they filmed the Jimmy Kimmel show, because it was called, Jimmy Kimmel, Adam Carolla, Feast of San Gennaro, with host Mike Marino.
Oh,
That's the way
awesome.
that all happened.
Right.
And we had a parade. We had so much more than New York because it became like a carnival, 3 days and 3 nights. So on opening night was a Thursday night. They called it Prima Notte, which means first night, I guess. Prima Notte?
You see,
Notte.
I wouldn't
yeah.
be able to
First night.
confirm or deny that statement. My
It is.
Italian, yeah, right.
Prima Notte. First night. Yeah. Opening night. Prima.
Opening
Notte is night. Prima. The best night, the opening night, the
I think-
gala.
Right.
And I hosted it. And every star you can think of, I met. I ended up going on tour with everybody. Robert Davi, Dean Martin's daughter, Dina. All these names are going to escape me, but I met everybody. Joey Gian, he was on the TV show Knots Landing. I used to be friends with Sebastian Maniscalco for a long time. He would come, but he never performed. I was one of the only guys performing. But
Did he ever open for you, or like
he did, yeah.
He opened-
Really?
So that's another thing I wanted to ask you is, who was like your when you were getting bigger, you had openers, right? You had Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
Now who was
He's the biggest comedian in the country.
who was your first opener where you were like, I made it to this moment. Like I'm here. Like what was your first show that you were like, shit, I'm good at this? Because you are obviously,
It's a hard talent too.
right. It's not an easy talent to
I don't even remember. I've worked with so many people.
right.
Is there anybody that stands out that you were like, I can't believe at that time, I can't believe I had the opportunity. Whether it was just because you liked that person, or was there anybody that
Still to this day, I mean, I could ramble off names that some people say to me, "You didn't know him." I'm like, "Well, yes, actually, we did." What do you think?
Right.
Where do you think we all were?
Right, exactly.
I used to work at the Laugh Factory a lot with Joe Coy. I remember Joe
wow.
Coy first got his girlfriend pregnant,
Yeah.
and he came over to me. He's like, "What should I do? I don't want to get married." I still have Joe Coy's phone number. We talk every once in a while. I was really close to Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany
Right.
Haddish was married. She used to ask me to walk her to her car all the time because he was a little nutty.
Yeah.
And I used to roll with this guy, Vinny, and Vinny was a big dude. I opened for Andrew Dice Clay for a while.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There is an album out. I don't know if it's still out or where you can actually get it. It was called Ass Up, Face Down, the Andrew Dice Clay rap song. And me, Sebastian Maniscalco, and a guy named Wheels Parisi did the backup vocals.
Really?
And when he called us the Boogaloo Boys. And he was rapping, he was saying shit, and me and Sebastian and Wheels are going boogaloo, 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 boogaloo. But we were actually looking at each other like, "Oh my God, we're with Andrew Dice Clay!
Yeah, right.
This is unbelievable!"
Right. That was like, yeah.
Do you see his videos now where he goes up to people and he's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
"You wanted to take a picture?" And the people are looking at him like hysterical. Because some people don't even know who he is. Obviously, when you're watching, you're like, "Oh,
Right.
obviously I know." But like comedic genius in my mind, like just the way he can use that and then just turn it into something. Obviously on TikTok, Instagram, and stuff.
If you look up an interview with Andrew Dice Clay on Joe Rogan, they're talking about a show we did called The Night of a Thousand Guidos. And Joe Rogan's like, "Yeah, it was Mike Marino, there was Sebastian, there was Tammy Pascatelli, all these Italians from different parts of the country." And Dice goes, "I remember when we made Mike Marino pretend he was Russian and he didn't speak English." And Joe Rogan goes, "Why'd you do that?" And he goes, "I don't know." I was like, "Mike, you just run around, but you don't speak English." I'm like, "All right, Dice."
So how'd you sound?
I didn't talk.
Oh, I didn't know if you spoke Russian.
He didn't
or
know what
not.
was going on if he didn't speak it.
Back at this time, they called it the dark times at the Comedy Store because they think they're going to close it. Andrew Dice Clay was always working out on a Sunday night, and I was hosting the Sunday night shows. When my mother and father came to visit at one time, I think it was the 90s. Yeah, it was the 90s. My father came to the Comedy Store. I was hosting a show. My father comes inside. Now, mind you, you could smoke in the club at that time. You could smoke cigarettes in the club.
Cigarettes, yeah.
So my father was a big 2-pack cigarette guy a day. And my father would come inside and he goes like this. He goes, "Hey, your friend outside says he's going to take you on tour with him." And I go, "No kidding." He goes, "Yeah." He says he likes what you're doing. You're getting better, and you're going to get to go on tour with him. And I go, "Okay, what guy are you talking about?" And he goes, "The guy out there in the parking lot. He kept on bumming cigarettes off of me." And I go, "What guy out there?" He goes, "I don't know his name. He's the guy with the leather jacket acting like an asshole. He says he's going to take you." And I go, "Dad, you mean Andrew Dice Clay?" "I don't know who he is."
Right.
Because he don't.
No,
Right.
no.
Right.
Dice loved my father.
Right.
That's awesome.
And when we went to Rascals in West Orange, it was me, Jimmy Norton, and Andrew Dice Clay. And my father walks in the green room and he goes, "Hey, Dice, how you doing?" And he rolled dice on the floor, my father. And he goes, "I love your father." You know why? Because my father don't give a flying fuck who
Yep.
anybody is.
Right.
He's a regular Joe and he's not paying attention. He don't care.
Right.
So my father was like, "Yeah, whatever."
And Dice could appreciate that.
Bingo.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Exactly.
He
Doesn't
didn't
care
talk
about-
no shit.
Yeah, it doesn't care how much money you make or what you've done. You're just like another one of your friends. You know what I mean? He just cares about you as a person, but he messes with you a little bit. You can't beat that.
I saw Dice once in Vegas. I hadn't seen him in a while. We were sitting in the green room, and I had explained to him, I have a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours is retiring from stand-up, and I feel really bad. And out of nowhere, Dice goes, "You should never feel bad. about anybody's career, you're really, really good, Marino, and that's all you need to know. Don't care about that. He's your buddy. He's my buddy. We love him. But you're good.
Right.
And I'm like, wow.
What a compliment.
Why
man.
didn't anybody film this?
Right. Right.
He's not going to remember.
Right. That had to be an experience, though,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Coming up, like Andrew Dice Clay was iconic of his time, So to be
Oh, come on, man. This guy sold out Madison Square
that's what I'm
Garden
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
before social media. How do you do
Right.
that?
right,
Yeah.
right. It was a different realm of the world where
Cable TV?
you had,
Yeah.
Hickory Dickory Dock. You know what I mean? We saw him in Morristown.
Yeah.
It was maybe like 8 or 9 years ago now, but like we
Oh,
saw
yeah?
him in Morristown. It was great. It was awesome to see him like perform. It was excellent. It was such a good show. Such a good show.
See, the funny thing is, the first way I stumbled upon your comedy, right, was probably when I was just getting out of high school, about 2008. You did the skit
Oh,
of,
yeah.
about
Yes.
hey, Bin Laden, pull up a rock.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. I had that on replay.
Take the rugs. Take the rugs and pull up the rock. We're one of the
Oh my
best.
God.
In 24 hours, these guys from New Jersey would have him back.
Yep.
Hey, Osama, pull up a rock. Like
It was genius.
just a
Who
little.
knew?
Like right.
Oh,
Who
man.
knew? I went on that show. I begged to get on that show. It took me a year. They weren't giving me any love. Then I go on the show, and a friend of mine was working. And he goes, "Marino, you better hit a home run, man." I'm like, I got an idea. I think this is gonna work. So when the audience started cheering when I said what I said, I just said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm getting out of the chair. And
Yeah, you stood
I
up.
stood up and I started. My father used to do this all the time, So I did that, and it went viral. I got like
Oh, yeah.
15 million views. I got
Right.
booked all over the country, and I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, well, you've been all over the East and West Coast, traveling across the country
Yeah.
for many years. I know many people who like seen your shows, still seeing your shows. Like it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome to see you still killing at your craft.
Well, that joke, of course, I don't do anymore.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff you just get rid of and you don't do it anymore. But I still have this thing about, running for president of the United States, because I can change it every week because all I have to do is watch the news.
Right.
Whatever they do, I'm going to do. So we turned it into the web series called Make America Italian Again, which is me running for president. And I think it's so stupid that you have to be a real jerk not to laugh your ass off.
Right. Well, the world nowadays, you get canceled for
They're
anything.
so sensitive.
Not me.
If you
Yeah.
don't-
I don't care.
Right. No. Right. You shouldn't. That's where comedy comes from. Who gives a shit? Like,
yeah.
I'm saying this because I think it's funny. Like, who cares what you think at the end of the day? It's
What I do, I don't really think is offensive anyway. I always make it just about me and my life.
right.
If you're offended by my life, well, then what can I tell you?
Right.
What can I tell you?
Well, my take on it is life is way too serious right now. If you can't laugh at things and have comedy, laughing and comedy literally solves so many problems, right? Laugh at things. It's okay. Laugh at yourself.
I heard a once funny guy said that. He said, what you should do if you want to laugh, you should go to Walmart.
Oh.
This one, the wise words of Mike Marino, I think his name is, said that you should go to Walmart if you ever want to laugh. But yes,
If you're in a bad mood and you don't know what to do with yourself, smoke a joint and go to Walmart. If you don't have a party, you're an asshole.
Oh my God.
I love going to Walmart. I go to Costco just to crack up laughing. Like, do you really need that many shirts?
It's a deal. A pack of 50 for right.
And you
Oh
always
my
get
God.
the snacks when you're there too. You know what I mean? Everyone does it. You get the toothpick. You eat it. I come back with a mustache. I get another.
Yeah, but you
one.
know you're not buying whatever they're giving you. You're not even buying it.
No,
You're just
but
taking
never.
a snack for the road.
No, the reason why they want to give it to you is so that you maybe want to buy it.
I
It's not
know
a
that.
craving.
Yeah.
I think one of the funniest jokes I came up with now, I don't know if you have to be intelligent to get this or not, but I buy cholesterol-lowering medication because I have high cholesterol, and I get it at Costco. So I go to Costco, and they have a lunch hour where you can't buy anything while you're there, right? Who's bothering me?
He's a
being
popular
bothered
guy.
by an 818 number.
Yeah. They want to sell you something.
Yeah.
Your Costco medication.
Costco.
My prescription's ready.
Right, exactly.
No, so I go to Costco to get the medication on this one day, and the lady goes, "Yeah, we're closed for lunch. We're going to open in about 5 minutes. Why don't you just wait?" I'm like, "All right, I'll wait." And then I noticed you can buy lunch at Costco. So while I was waiting for the cholesterol-lowering medication, I bought a foot-long hot dog with a refillable Pepsi.
For like $2.50.
But
It's a deal.
The joke is you're buying shit
Cholesterol
that gives you're eating shit that gives you cholesterol. And then I said, you know what? And then I got the pills, but I was still hungry, so I got a slice of pizza. So I just took the cholesterol pills and I put it in the cheese, and I just eat myself to good health.
It all makes sense. It all adds up.
Oh man,
It's good.
they're making
Fuck is
sure that
calling me?
that's all right. They're making sure that they're keeping you as a customer. That's what they're doing. $1.50 for a foot long. You know what I mean? They're making sure that
Actually, it's $1.50 for a foot long hot dog and a refillable for free Pepsi.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're eating in bulk.
Right. Right.
Oh my God.
A bulk. You think they would do it with pasta?
Oh,
Oh, could you
God.
imagine Costco pasta?
That'd be worse than Olive
My
Garden.
mother would come back to life. I'll kill you.
Yeah, your mother will hear that other can, right? The ragu.
The ragu. Yeah, that's what they're using over there.
I remember just once, I said to my mother, "Mom, listen, don't get mad at me, but I was at lunch today and some of the kids had Chef Boyardee mini ravioli, and I liked it." My mother's like, "My son's a minigun." His son's a minigun.
Grab the rosary. Goes give me 12 Hail Marys.
Do you remember saying slang words, but you really didn't know what they meant? My mother calls me minigun. What is that? I don't know.
Right.
You didn't even realize it's an American.
Right. It just
You're an
got
American.
the G in it.
Right.
Obviously,
But she's
yeah.
saying American in Italian.
Right.
Minigun. Minigun. Oh, minigun. They wrote a song about it.
Right. The worst thing is when you were a kid and you saw the spoon come out. That was like that was the next level. I'd ditch it wherever I had to go.
I framed my mother's spoon.
That's awesome.
I did. I put it in what they call a shadow box. It's taped together because in the middle it cracked in half.
Do you have it in the basement?
No, this one I keep on the upstairs stove. I got a picture of my mother. I attached it to a pot holder, and a spoon is in it, and a pie cutter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
love
a
it.
pie cutter. It's the thing that you go around to make the
Yeah, the ripples. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the wheel.
ripple. What is
Yeah.
it?
I don't even know what
I
that's
don't know
called.
It's not a
it's
pie
called?
cutter.
No.
Shit, we're going to have to Google
crimp?
It's
it.
like a pastry.
Is it like a
pastry.
crimp?
I think it's called like a pastry.
Is it a crimp?
Because crimps they do for like pipes. You know, they do for like the aluminum things. You crimp them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the name
I'm
is.
such a minigun now.
Yeah,
I don't even know what. We've been staring at this plate of food
Go ahead, dig in.
for an
dig in.
hour and 15 minutes.
Take it over.
Don't be
there.
shy.
No, everybody needs to see this.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Now that you mentioned
This
it.
is cannoli cream with cannoli crusts. It's shaped like this for some reason. I don't know where you got it. Smells good. Let's go for it.
You got to give it
That's
a
it.
rating.
This is the longest podcast I've ever been on.
Well, usually we already wrapped it up. So actually, we'll start wrapping it up now. So real quick, we always ask our guests.
Man, that's good. Was it Mrs. T?
So you know what the
Mama T.
Mama!
Before we ask the last question is, see the reason why I know I like that a little bit. When you eat a cannoli and you bite into it,
Yeah, you're not getting all.
it crumbles.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the middle, there's no cannoli cream. You only get it at the edges sometimes.
You know.
There, you
know what they
scoop
call
as
this?
much as you want.
You know what they call this?
What's that?
The Italian nachos. That's it, baby. The Italian nachos.
Welcome, Mama T's.
Mama T's Italian nachos. Hey.
Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh man. So real quick, Mike, we greatly appreciate having you on here and giving your time. We always like to wrap it up with one question. So that question is, with cigars give you an opportunity to kind of slow down with this fast-paced life and have a genuine conversation. If you could have that one moment with somebody, whether from the past or right now, who would that be and why?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's a little deep, but we'll give you a little time to think about it.
Get another cannoli before you get into it. You know.
Go ahead, dig in.
Right now, folks at home, everybody who's watching this podcast, I will go on record to say this. I ate food while they weren't eating. I'm eating cannoli dip, nacho dip, Italian Cinco de Mayo, whatever, by myself. You know what that makes me? A gavone. I've been a fucking gavone in their basement for an hour and 15 minutes. But you know what? I don't care.
Don't.
Mama T is insanely good at preparing. And you know what? Sometimes you got to say to yourself, I don't want to be rude and not eat their food. You got to
always
eat.
have to eat.
You gotta
You
eat.
go over to an Italian's house, you don't eat.
That's
They
it.
can make fun of me when I leave.
Oh,
They would say, I can't believe you're eating it. You guy never eat anything. What kind of a guy is that? Or now they're going to say, that guy was a real fucking gavone.
Nah, not in this house.
Right.
Right. I would want to sit here with my family
Yeah.
Yeah.
because everybody's gone, really. My mother, my father, aunts, uncles, everybody's gone. Wouldn't it be great if they were all here just to have a conversation about the way things used to be? I also want to say, are you happier in heaven? What's it like?
Right.
And you know what they're going to say. Enjoy your life because life is short. Never really believed that when you're younger.
Right.
You're like, hey, everybody says that. Stop saying that.
Right.
But it is. It goes by really, really quick. So you enjoy every minute, every day. But I would say my family, and I think especially my Uncle Tommy would be great to have a conversation with these days, you know.
Right.
My Uncle Tommy, you know.
Finally
I'm
back
st-
at the adult table.
I'm still,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. A seat at the old table.
Yeah. I remember so many times it was like this. The women are in the kitchen making the food, and the men are in the parlor watching a football game. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if your father and I were in the kitchen, what are we going to make, a ham sandwich?
Yep.
So that's it.
All right. Love it. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Real quick, tell the people where they could find you if they're interested in getting tickets, finding out your tour dates and everything like that, and also your Instagram.
My social media is at Mike Marino Live on everything from Instagram to my YouTube channel to my Twitter or the X, Facebook, TikTok, and my website is mikemarino.net. If you guys want to get some shirts that say Make America Italian Again, there's two ways to do it. mikemarino.net or the Hardcore Italians. HardcoreItalians.com have the Make America Italian Again with the logo in the front with matching hats. I got it on the back because I like when people come up behind me and go, Make America Italian Again. And I turn around and go, yeah.
What the fuck about it, buddy?
Yeah, I'm running for president.
Oh,
We're moving the White House to the basement.
love it. Love it. I love it.
Where's the sit down with the White House? We're in the basement.
We're in the basement.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. Remember, check out our website at thecigarhouse.com. Pick up a couple sticks. We got the Maduros. We got the Connecticut's. Stay tuned for the Cigarellos coming out very soon. And remember, follow us on social media platforms, all of us, Mario, Mike, and myself. Mario, do you have any last words for the people?
As always, till next time. And thank you again.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be here in this moment.
It's an honor to have Mike
Yeah.
here, guys. So thank you, Mike, so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this, the food, the gluttony, right, of the food, and Mama T's cooking.
We'll
And-
give you a bag to go. Don't worry.
Yeah.
My son.
I was just going to say, you know, if we're out, might as well have some more food.
That's it. That's it. We're going to keep eating when the camera's off. Don't worry. So, all right, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.